this conversation, I really wanted just to talk about, continue on the conversation we were having about just finding time for pleasure, finding time to like really take time for yourself
Hmm.
and fall in love with yourself again. So before we even really get into the conversation, tell me a little bit about who you are, what you do. Tell me all that. Tell my audience all of those things.
Oh, this should be like, it should be an easy question, but I always like get tripped up on this question. Like, who am I? um, well, I'm a mom first.
Mhm.
Mom, a fiance, an educator, an entrepreneur. I work with first graders. That's my 9 to 5. Um, Obviously, I come home full-time mommy, fiance, we're working on, like I'm really excited that you called, we spoke about the intimacy because that's something that we've been working on with our work schedules because, being an educator can be demanding, being a mom can be demanding. And then, being an entrepreneur that helps artists, they're all jobs where I'm putting other people's needs in front of mine. So very, very demanding, can get very tiring. But that's who I am. I love being an educator. My overall goal is to have my own recreational center, community center, where I can kind of do everything that I do in one space, photo shoots and, content and, have different programs for families and community and the youth. So that's my overall goal. Yeah, that's who I am. Bree, Caliburgh, Bree.
That's awesome. I love it. You said two things that kind of popped out. The one, the rec center. I was having a conversation with a young lady earlier about this idea. So I've been now, stay with me now. I know it's going to go crazy. So I am such a big fan of like the idea behind Hugh Hefner. Not Hugh Hefner. I am totally not for him. He can go in the trash can.
Okay.
But the idea of having a place where women are able to come to this space where they are, they are able to have fun. They're able to just be
Safe.
themselves. They're able to be in their sexuality. They're just able to be in a safe space. And I think that Hugh Hefner was definitely the wrong person. I think a female should lead that space.
For sure.
Right. And we call, like, I've always, when I was like saying my goals or whatever, I was like, oh, I want to have a rec center. But then I thought about it and I said, I don't want a rec center per se. I want a safe space. I want to create a safe space for women where they can go in and they can just be authentically themselves, where there's no judgment, there's no anything. And it's just a place where
that's great. It's the same thing I want to do for the youth, like a space where it's like 24 hours. If you are hungry, you need breakfast in the morning before school, or you just don't want to be at home, come to the center, you're safe. Like your parents know where you're at, you're safe. Like
exactly.
So that was same. We need safe spaces.
We need safe spaces.
Everybody.
I love that. We need safe spaces. We need places where people can go that they can just be authentically themselves, that they can like, I used to work with kids too. I work with older. I was with the teenager and the crazy kids, but it was the same thing for them, creating a space that they didn't have to be judged for their thoughts, for whatever they were, loved and cared for. That is what people need. And I think that's what all ages, from the youngins to the older ones.
The senior citizens need safe spaces.
We need safe spaces.
Yeah.
So you got into a little bit about, you being a mom, you being a fiance, and, I wanted to talk a little bit about your family life, because we did dive into that in our last conversation about finding time. How do we find time for intimacy or for ourselves when we are mothers and we have, or not me, but we have, all these other responsibilities. And it's like, how do you find time to have time for yourself? So I know that this was something that you're working on or whatever, but what are different things that you guys are trying?
Definitely, at the beginning of our parenthood, we're real, like keep the baby, we want the baby. We don't want to send them anywhere, but just getting more used to like, it's okay, like go to grandma's, you can go, it's okay. We need a little bit of time to ourselves. And just scheduling that time out aside from, because like we were used to just getting sitters when we had events to do or showcases or like somewhere to go to, and not just getting a sitter just to not do anything. So finding more time to just be and not do much is one thing that we're working on. Our child is real verbal at this point, so he's like, I want to come home, and then they call us and they're like, he said he wants to come. Okay. Can't do much about that. You'll be all right. But yes, definitely that, my fiance is a real his physical touch is his love language. So just finding different forms of intimacy when we can't, because it's like, it's new to try to like find time to be intimate. But then we had a discussion where it's like sex is the only form of intimacy, and just finding other ways that we can be intimate with each other without full force, having sex. So that's something we've been working on.
Knowing those love languages, I believe, are so important, right? Mm-hmm. Knowing your love language is extremely important in relationships and in friendships and everything, is knowing that. So physical touch, definitely mine too, but it's not about sex, right? So when you think it's about like knowing that that person is there. So touching the shoulder, touching the leg, hey, how are you? Kiss, stuff like that. And I think some people that physical touch isn't their love language, they don't know that. They don't understand that. So that can be a tricky thing. What are your love languages?
Mine, quality time. It's a big one. Like if I can be with you and not really be doing anything and I still enjoy your company, that is a green flag. Words of affirmation. I don't work for words of affirmations. This is a new one for me, but I've learned that when I do hear like, I'm proud of you, or thank you for doing this, and it's not really what I was expecting, it feels good. So definitely words of affirmation. And then physical touch would be my third one. Because it's like, I'm a very intimate person when it's the time, but it's not something that I feel like I need. I need that physical attention all the time. So that's something that we're working on, because that's like his number one. So
I don't know how to do this. Well, for myself, I'll tell you a suggestion as a physical toucher. My thing is always knowing that that person is there, right? So physical touch communicates to me that that person's present, that person is close by. So like any form, like a shoulder or anything, really goes such a long time. And I know to my partners, it probably seems awkward to like reach out and grab and touch the shoulder. It's like, okay, babe. It's kind of awkward, but it means so much to somebody who that is their love language. With everything going on with the family life and the fiance and everything going on, how do you find time to love on yourself though? You know what I mean? As busy as entrepreneurs and stuff, I think that was kind of the overall language of the conference we went to. It's like, you need to take care of you too. You need to love on yourself too. So how do you do that? How do you find time for
that? I've been working on setting time, like transitioning from work and home, to like take time in between that period and just like sit down and just like decompress my whole day. That's what I've been working on recently. Trying to get more into journaling, because fiance is a real deep journaler, meditator. So he's like pushing me in that direction. And it's like, I'm excited to do it. I want to do it, but it's like something I have to mentally get myself in the groove to do. And another thing that I've found is that as an overthinker, I would make these ridiculously long to-do lists, which is just like, girl, no, like, be realistic with yourself. You're not doing all that today. And then like trying to set out times to relax. Just been, not trying to force times for myself and a lot times in the day. Like as soon as you wake up, do this, and that, because if days are inconsistent, sometimes I wake up late. Sometimes, the baby doesn't feel good, and I'm not able to get those things done. And just finding like, if I have 10 minutes, let me just do this real quick. If I have 5 minutes, let me just do that real quick. So that's something I've been trying to work on, and actually, trying to get out this, I'm not going to say lazy because I do a lot, but I'm like in the middle, like a procrastination. I feel like I'm only lazy when it comes to myself, to be honest. I feel like when it comes to doing things, setting time for myself, I make up excuses. But if it's like about somebody else, I'm going to be like, I get on it. So but I think making myself a priority.
That's the woman's way, I think. I think we always like, okay, I'm going to do it for somebody. I have so much time to pour into somebody else. But then when it's time to pour into me, it's like, do I really have time for that? How do you find, I know like with your relationship and everything going on, you said that it's kind of hard for the intimacy piece. How are you guys finding time for that? I mean, if you don't mind me asking that question, like, how are you finding that with all the busyness?
Spontaneity.
Love it.
Spontaneous. Um, and making the most out of the nights that we do have. You know, we we do the candles, we have the games, and we binge watch whatever we haven't been I can't watch certain shows when he's at work. You can't do that in a relationship. So we get to catch up on all our shows and play games and have the candles, and we have our whole setup for when we have big nights. So that's a way that we try to bring it all together.
I love it. Have you guys incorporated like date nights or
we're working on the date nights, and going more places. We're trying to do like as a family and I guess a couple together. So yeah, we're definitely working on more date nights.
It's like I know whenever I was going when I was in my last relationship and we were starting to go to therapy, one of the things they suggested is that time thing, like 5 minutes for yourself, 1 hour for your relationship a day, right? 30 minutes for your relationship a day, and setting that timer and saying, okay, this is our time. That 30 minutes is our time. Whatever we choose to do in that 30 minutes of our time is our time. You know what I mean? Like throughout the day. That was one thing that they suggested that we do for it. And it actually helped for as far as us spending time. It didn't seem like a lot at first. I was like, 30 minutes. All I get is 30 minutes. My physical touch, I need physical touch and I need, somebody to be there. And I was like, 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
That's it. I get 30 minutes. But it helped our relationship so much because it was like that time where I knew that my partner wasn't going to be doing anything else.
Interrupted, yeah.
They were going to be focusing on me. They weren't focused on anything else. So it was pretty good.
Yeah, that's nice.
How do you feel you began your self-love journey?
I'm still on it. I'm still beginning. I don't know. Like it's like an on and off. Like I get distracted or just life hits me and I just get like sidetracked. And I'm like, all right, now I need to get back on it. So it's really like a discipline, self-discipline, and a consistency thing with me because I've started so many times and then something just knocks me off. So right now I'm restarting, but I'm trying to like kind of taking my time with it because like I know what I need to do, know what I'm supposed to be doing. I just need my body to physically.
What do you feel like you're supposed to be doing though for your self-love journey?
Journaling, reflecting more, like you said, taking more time for myself, breathing, being more intentional, more aware of what I'm doing. Like I'm an overthinker, so a lot of times I just like space out and I just go into my thoughts. And so like one of my goals is speaking and being like communicating better and more effectively in groups, large groups, one-on-one, whatever. Communicating more effectively. It's one of my major goals on my self discovery journey because I feel like that's kind of where like my relationships in the past or like just like growing up, that's the big thing was communication. The communication I saw affects how I communicate now. So I'm trying to like fix that. So yeah, journaling. I know journaling will help me. Writing helps you with your speaking. Reading helps you with your speaking. So those are the two things that I'm trying to like hone in on. Writing more, speaking more. And then I'm a dancer. So I'm like dancing and moving my body always what makes me happy. So I started yoga. I started like a 30-day yoga challenge. And then I kind of like slowed down with that. But I love it. I love the yoga. So I'm just like slowly, because I was like, I need to work out three times a week. And I was like, Bree, start with yoga, light movements, and then slowly fit the workouts in there. And then maybe like fit some dancing in there from some YouTube tutorials, just like to get my body moving again. Cause I'm like, that's always what made me happy. And like as a child and growing up, and I'm like, I need to tune into some of that childhood Bree and mix that in with my adulthood. And then I'll be good.
Yeah.
Then I'll be good.
I think that working out, I work out once a week.
Okay.
And somebody told me that that's more than a lot of people in the world. So that's what I do. I said, that's enough for me now. I think that I've definitely learned that showing myself grace because I've started it. I've stopped and started so many times on just so many journeys, from working out to eating healthy to, and these are all things I know. I know what I'm supposed to be doing, but I just don't do it, or I'm lazy, or I want to binge watch my shows, or whatever the case may be, and I end up not doing it. Think about when you actually felt that you loved yourself the most, right? That you actually could sit in yourself and loved you the most. When does that feel like? When did that begin you know?
I think I love myself the most, and this might be, you know, a childhood thing from my mom, but just when I'm the most kept, like when I'm like my hair is done and, you know, like I just feel good. Like, and it doesn't matter what's going on. I'm good. Like, I know I feel good. I look good. I feel good. That's when I feel the best. Like, I think it was Nicole. She was in the You Good Sis. I
Mm.
watched her conference, and she was like, you know, I'm going to go do a facial. I'm going to go drink some tea and I'm going to relax. And I got that conference and was like, you know, I'm going to go wash my hair. And I'm going to twist my hair. I'm gonna go twist my hair because, you know, I deserve to look good. I need to stop walking around with this crazy bun on my head. Like, I don't have time for myself, and I went and twisted my hair, and I just felt I felt good when the word. They're like, oh my God, Miss McGee, you look so cute. You like, I'm like, thank y'all, like thanks. I did
And there
it.
goes
You know,
those
I
word
didn't
of
go to a shop. I
affirmation.
did it myself.
And then the words of
You know?
affirmation comes, and then you
Yep.
feel better about yourself. And then it's just, so that's self-love, that right there. It's not the yoga, it's not the working out, it's not any of that. It's you, being your best self, being able to look in the mirror and say, I love me. So, you know, doing your hair, put it on that, maybe that red lip, whatever that may be, and that is your self-love. That's when you feel the most that you love yourself, that you are on that journey. And that's the journey. Because there are some people at the beginning of that journey that look in the mirror, and no matter how much makeup or hair, their hair done, they don't feel that. And then you're in the middle of the journey where sometimes you feel that, sometimes then you're at the other end, and maybe you're always feeling like you're sexy as fuck, right? So that's where I think the journey is. Because things will happen. Yeah, I work out today. No, I don't work out tomorrow. I watch this, I do that. But our journey is so like, so maybe you doing your hair, you know, once a week or a couple, you know, once a couple weeks, that makes you feel good. That's you taking care of you, right? How I don't, and I want to say this lightly because I don't know if you have or not, but I know when I talk about trauma, I mean all forms of trauma. I mean any form, from childbirth to fire to anything, sexual to anything, right? And you don't have to talk about your trauma on here, but I want you to think about think about the moment that most affected, a trauma that most affected your life, or the way that you viewed life, right? And how has that trauma affected the way that you love?
Okay. I want to say probably the trauma that most affected my life would be like my parents separating. My dad was a workaholic, where I get all my working from. So workaholic. And then my mom, she's just kind of like, she wasn't the big communicator. I was always with her. So I kind of like knew what she was doing, but like I was young as a kid. So, you know, obviously, you know, they thought I'm in fresh middle school, and then it like from middle school, high school, my life was just real inconsistent. So it's kind of like that was like the prime years that I needed mom and dad. And it was just like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So obviously, you know, that led into college, which was, you know, me learning how to do everything on my own. My mom, she was a teenage mom, you know, she had 4 kids by the time she was 21. So it was me teaching myself taxes, teaching myself how to apply for college and how to do all these things and navigate through life. So I feel like I'm a little delayed, didn't really get like I had the 2 parents, but they weren't active enough at that time and mature enough with each other at that time to teach me what I needed to know. So I'm kind of like catching up with both of those relationships and just on life, you know. Finally got a good job, you know, and I'm just like trying to like teach myself, learn myself, relearn myself, learn why I am the way I am, what I got from both of them, and how I can be better. And I would say the second traumatic was when I had surgery when I was pregnant. that was more of a support system, like a double take at my support system overall. Because I just expected more people to be there for me at such a traumatic time, and they weren't. So that kind of made me sit back and look at people, you know, side eye people a little bit. So it's like trust issues already, and then it's like something traumatic happens, like, okay, now I got double trust issues. So I kind of stay out the way when it comes to family, like anybody, honestly. And it's something I'm trying to get out of, just showing up to events and showing up to occasions and being more involved. But when things like that happen, it just forces me to like retreat back into my little cave.
I feel that. I absolutely understand that. Trauma has a way of affecting us people so deeply, and it could be it's definitely I know that breaking up with parents is definitely super traumatic. And all of I don't know if it was like this in your family, but all the arguing and the back and forth and the
New
this and that.
people.
Oh,
It's like, oh
and the new people and it's a lot. And
yeah.
you're in the middle, like, but what about me?
Yep.
Hey, I'm here. And it doesn't always look like neglect, but it isn't like that extreme version of neglect. It
Yeah.
might not be that.
Their
It just might
attention just
have,
wasn't there.
yeah, it's just your attention just wasn't there. And it sucks that way, because we have to live with that, and it goes on to other relationships and other things. And then when you had your surgery, having to be by yourself and not having a lot of people, maybe, or the people that you thought were going to be there to be there for you, that's another blow. It's like, dag, I can't trust anybody. I guess I'm just by myself. I guess I'm just here. I guess
Right.
so why am I going to these events? Why am I participating with people when I got to focus on me? I can't focus on them. And then you
Yep.
start retreating. But what happens is you stop, and then there's some good people, and you end up knocking out the good people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then you're like, crap. I could have, that was a good relationship. That was a good friendship I could have had. That was a good partnership. And then you're looking like, oh man, that was that trauma. That happened. So trauma for me affected the way that I love. And you said it right on nose, is that trust. It's hard for me to trust now. How in your relationship that you are now, has he or has that helped you, in that trauma?
The positive, I guess, would be that he's similar when it comes to like similar in a way, like most men probably are. Like, he doesn't want that heartbreak. He's felt the heartbreak before, and his parents aren't together, so he's like, I want my son to see a dad, and that's his perspective. He's looking at it in the right perspective. A lot of men don't look at it in that perspective. So he's just like, I know he told me when we first started dating, he told me a story about one of his, I don't forget who it was, but it was someone he was close to. And he was like, I don't know. He said his wife woke up after like 15 years of marriage and was just like, I'm not in love with you anymore. And he was like, that's one of his biggest fears, is just to have somebody just wake up and be like, I don't love you anymore. So I'm just like, oh man, like, and that's like fresh in our life. So like, it helped me understand where he was coming at. So he definitely, lifts me up, you know what I mean? Shows me off and everything that he needs to do to make me trust him. So we're trusted. We're past that. We had our issues, early in our relationship, like all relationships do. But at this point, we're very good.
We're locked in. We're good.
Yeah, we're
not. I feel it. But that's good. That I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, that helped you to overcome maybe some of that trauma. That relationship that you had helped you to overcome that. At least one person got your back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least somebody, that without a shadow of a doubt, this one person has, and that's such a wonderful feeling. That is a beautiful feeling.
It is.
But after trauma, how did, and you said you were continuously on the self-love journey and everything. How is loving you different? How is you loving you different? How do you see this trauma affecting the way that you love yourself?
I think it's more of a mental thing, like I just have these people in my head, like I sound crazy. I have this positive person in mind, like, stop, like, stop overthinking, stop worrying, stop. But it's like, and it's just like, and that causes me to not say anything. Like, I just become a mute, and I'm just silent and I'm quiet. So it's just me like dealing with this mental battle that I'm going through right now, and just telling me like, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. I know you have 1,000 things to do, and saying no more. I have to say no more to certain things. To give myself time to relax in between things, because when I'm constantly saying yes, then I'm like, shit, I don't really want to do this. Now I got to do all of this, and I already said yes, and now I got to follow through. And so, yeah, definitely saying no more.
No is the best word I've ever known in the English language. Like, I used to tell everybody yes, and I would be in situations I didn't want to be. I would go to parties and events I didn't want to do. But no, I love no. Everybody should say it more often. No, I don't want to do that. No, it's a lovely thing because it's powerful. It it's just so wonderful. No, you know, or unfortunately, I can't do that. Is there another date? I'm
Yeah,
really big
right.
at that.
There's other
I'm
ways
really
to
big
say
at
it.
saying
I
that.
need to free up space in my mind
Yeah,
to just like not
unfortunately,
be
because
thinking about anything.
yeah, like I cannot do it. Like and they were like, "Oh, what were you doing that day?" Sitting in my chair watching TV. Like
Not the
nothing.
damn thing.
Not a damn thing, but I don't want to be there.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
don't want to do that. And
Hmm.
my one of the thing that my grandma always told me, I will hold on to this forever because every single time something happens, I think about this, right? Now, female intuition is a bad mamma jamma, right? With bad
Yeah.
mamma jamma. She said, if you feel, if it's an event or if it's something and you feel like you shouldn't go, don't go.
Hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
care if it's, I don't care if it's $1 million project. I don't care what it is. Don't do it because
Hmm.
that's something in you is saying that's it's not the time or you don't need to do
I
that.
feel you.
And I have done that for so long, and I've
Hmm.
always been right. It wasn't meant for me to be there, or it wasn't my crowd, or people
Yeah.
showed up that I didn't want to be there, or that project they said they was going to make that money, but then look how much work these employees had to do, or whatever. I
Hmm. Something's
know
always
that
off.
it's something always off. So anytime I'm feeling like I really don't want to do that, I have no problem last minute be like, oh, you know something, something came out, I'm not coming. I have
Hmm.
no problem with doing that because it has to feel right in my spirit. Because I'm not going nowhere.
You don't feel comfortable. Well,
No.
mm,
And I'm
yeah.
big on that. I tell people all the time when I meet them, I suffer from anxiety big time, right? So I spend a lot of time in my apartment. But it's because everything I need and want is in my apartment. Everything I love is here, right? And when I go outside, I gotta deal with all these crazy minions, all these crazy people and all the crazy stuff. So I have to be prepared
Yeah.
for that. Like
Hmm.
I have to be prepared for that energy because I'm gonna give my all my energy out when I do stuff. Like when we went to that conference, I was prepared. Okay, I
Yeah.
knew I was going to do some crying. I knew what information I was going to get.
Hmm.
I was ready. But could I have done that 3 days in a row? Hell no.
No.
No. Okay. There was no way that I could have been like, yeah, I'm going to sit here and talk to these people for 3 days in a row. They would have hated me. They they too, like they would have been like, "Ew, who's that girl?" Because I would have been so mean. Nobody would have liked me. I would have been like
No,
sitting
like
on the
bro,
corner by
like she
myself.
ain't
Where,
talking.
yeah, where's the weed? Can somebody please supply me? I need to be happy. And I wasn't smoking. Oh no, y'all gotta give me something. I cannot be in this space and just looking at y'all and being sad. I can't do it. I can't do it. I tried.
No, you
Didn't do
can't.
it. But I love the event though. That doesn't take away. I
Yes,
loved
it's
it.
beautiful. It's
I
beautiful.
knew I was meant to be there. But it's that energy, right? You have to
Hmm.
have enough energy to be able to feed into other people. So I'll get into it. I know you had said like your parents had split up and you know all that. So what is something that your parents or guardians never told you about your self discovery that you wish they would have, or your self discovery or self love that they wish you would have?
Hmm. Self love honestly wasn't a big conversation. Definitely not with my father. My mom was more of like, nails done every 2 weeks. Hair like that was her. That was it. That was bare minimum. We're going shopping. Let's go. Like it wasn't really any talks or, telling me, giving me advice on ways to deal with certain things or even to deal with myself or deal with issues that I'm dealing with in school. Like, it was never like that open line of communication. I would say, I feel like I was always walking on eggshells with my mom. Like, don't want to hurt your feelings or don't want to say anything that's wrong. And the same with my dad. So it's always walking on eggshells. So I would say like being okay, being open to talk. Therapy's okay. I definitely grew up in a what happens in my house stays in my house type the house. So on that is the reason why I'm so like a private person now. So just being open, like be more transparent. It's okay to talk to people. It's okay to get different perspectives on situations. Genuine friendships are real. I just feel like I don't know, we probably all have these moms where they're talking about their friends and we're just sitting there like, ain't that your friend? What is going on? Y'all don't like each other this week? Now y'all that's I'm just like, this is just a hot mess. Like genuine friendships do not have to be toxic to be real. And yeah, that's
That is so
like they don't
true.
have to be
Oh my
toxic. I don't
God.
have to argue with you every 2 weeks.
No, no. And I don't have to, there's so much with friendship. I talk about this on my live stream. I say
Okay.
people don't even know how to be friends with people. They don't even know how to have friendships with people. They don't even know what that means, but then they want to jump into a relationship with people. You don't even know how to be friends with this person. You don't even know, you don't know how to be a friend, just a friend. I'm not talking about knowing
A
their
friend,
favorite color. I'm talking about being a
friend,
friend.
being there for them.
You know,
Like,
being there for them, like showing up, like understand that they might argue. Like I just had a situation. A friend of mine, we had a falling out, not really a falling out. We had a disagreement in December.
mm-hmm.
We haven't spoken since. She knocks on
Okay.
my door. She said, she I opened the door. I'm like, oh my goodness, what is this about? So I open my door. I'm like, I haven't talked to her since December. And
Yeah.
she's one of my really good friends. Like we're tight. I
Mm.
open the door. I'm like, yeah. She's like, do you want to take a walk or get some coffee? Right. And I was like, sure, let's go
Yeah.
and leave.
Okay.
That's what friendship is, y'all. That's friendship.
That's
Because
friendship.
I
Yeah.
mean, I know that sounds
Sometimes
weird.
people need
That sounds
space. Look, sometimes
look,
people
but
need
that's
space,
friendship.
but
There you
it's a healthy way of communicating. It's not you're tearing each other down or talking about each other behind. You know what I mean? It's like, let's just talk. Let's do this. Let's just
yeah. But
come together.
it was so healthy. It was so
It was
like,
so
and then we
healthy.
took our walk. We
Mm-hmm.
said what we had to say, and it was dissolved.
Yep.
And the situation's over. And it's not even a thing. And we're
Yep.
back. I have my best friend. I've been my best friend for 20 years. We don't need to talk every single day.
Oh yeah.
But if she calls my phone and she asks me anything, I'll be there for her. If anything ever, if like she is my friend, she's my best friend, and people don't even know how to do that anymore. And that's like it's big. Genuine friendships are real, but I had to teach myself that though. That was
Yeah,
something I
in the
always.
process. You know, trusting people is so
Oh
hard. I
man,
got a
it's a
couple really good friendships, but I'm trying to like open up
yeah.
my I'm surrounded by so much masculinity that I'm just like I need to increase my feminine
It's
circle here.
with
It's
females too. It's hard being friends with
so
females.
hard.
You're
So
like, oh my god, Jesus,
hard out here.
it's hard out here. It's like you want to be my friend, but like
Like
how? What
especially
type of
at
friendship?
30, it's like
Oh man.
so what you like? What I like? What you like? What you be doing? Okay,
Okay,
cool. We
okay, we can do the same thing. But you see, I found you have to have what is it? I don't want to say situational friends, but like certain friends for
friends
certain
with certain
things.
things.
You
Yeah,
know what
yeah,
I mean?
that's what
Like
they say.
they
The
don't have
party
for every.
friend.
There you go. Second, like
Yeah.
my party friend, my friend that if I need to pray, I got
Yeah.
the friend the the friend because
You got
you
your
got some.
spiritual friends.
Yeah, you got you got your crystal friends, the
Your
crystals and the
crystal,
holistic. I know who to call if I need some special tea. You gotta have
right?
all the
The whole
friends,
circle.
the whole circle, and like my party friends can't hang out with my like spiritual friends. Like
No,
they can
they
never
can't
meet.
mix.
They can't mix.
Can't mix
Like
the crowd.
I had these two friends, like my best friend, like back in the day, I had two friends. I used to call them my left and right arm. They were my best friends. And they never met. I knew them for just this long and they've never met. So the one friend is super gay, super super stud but she's like has a wife and everything. My
Mhm.
other friend is homophobic.
Oh my god.
It's like it's like super and I was
No,
like
no,
you can never meet and sometimes they would be like, oh well, let's all go to dinner. I'd be like, absolutely not.
no, I'm not sitting in the middle.
Never need to meet. Like there's no reason for you guys to ever meet. You would kill each other. I've never even showed my one friend a picture of my best friend
Oh wow.
because it's so like what for? You don't need to meet her. Like unless I like get married or there's like something big and both
Yeah.
of you show up and then you're like, hey you, that's on
Nice
y'all.
to
That's
meet
not
you.
on me. That's on y'all. That's not on me. I won't be doing that. That's the stand. But that's like my vibe. So yeah, you have to have a friend for everything. So because this podcast is also about, it's woman empowerment, women's sexual empowerment. There's two more questions. And just like I said, if you don't feel comfortable answering questions, just let me know. I believe that there is healing, like there's healing in sexual empowerment. Learning our bodies helps us to love every inch of ourselves.
Mhm.
Do you feel like this path of learning about yourself, like your sexual self, can help you heal? Do you feel like learning your sexuality and learning about sexuality can help you heal through traumas?
I do. For me, I mean, my sexual, it's healthy. You know, we're in a healthy space overall. But exploring never hurts. I think that it would definitely get me out of a comfort zone if I like experiment with certain things. Like role play, you know, and that's things that, you know, you have to be comfortable speaking, doing accents, and that stuff I get real weird about. So it's like stuff like that, you know, dancing and just things that get me like out of my
Yeah.
comfort zone. I think that'll help me with my whole like public speaking, communication, just like that'll help me just get
Have
used
you
to it.
ever have you ever started, but have you ever been to a sex club yet?
I have not.
Okay. So there I'll tell you this. So there's two sex clubs here in Pittsburgh, and they don't have a lot of us in there.
You can
Um,
imagine.
there's like negative 100%, almost maybe 90%, but it's like nobody in there. But I find that it's a great place to go for like exploration or for that spontaneity because you don't have to participate in anything.
Okay.
It's just, especially if you go with a partner, it's just like watching and learning and seeing what like and what don't like. But that's a good place, but it might be a little bit more intense. But the reason why I bring that up is because a lot of the women that are going to be on second season of this episode is they're going to be talking about like their sexual empowerment and all that stuff. And the reason why I wanted you specifically for this one because it's going to be like a roller coaster. So we're going to start at the top and you're kind of like the top,
Yeah.
like relationship and everything. And then we're going to go like all types of loops
Yep,
where
yep.
I have brothel owners. I have people who work at sex shops. I have kink people. I have everything that's
Yeah.
coming on the show, right? So they're going to be talking about all types of exploration and being with a partner. I'll give you this. Are you are you a TikToker?
Yeah, but I don't really pay attention to the people too
Okay,
much. I
so
might know them if I see them.
I'll give a clue on this episode. I guess I'll give a clue on who my special guest is. So this person taught millions of people how to ride a dick. Taught
Okay.
millions, but as a exercise. So
Interesting.
they taught women how to
Definitely an
do it
exercise.
and how to do it comfortably as an exercise, right? So they taught them how to, you know, get more comfortable with their bodies and things like that. And that's who's going to be on my show.
Okay.
So that's my little
That's your clue.
clue for this
Snap.
for this one. This is my little
Go
clue.
look
Y'all
it up,
gotta
like.
find her. Y'all gotta find her. She's really, really dope. And she's a really dope person. Pay attention to the clues, y'all. Pay attention to the
Pay attention to the
clues.
clues.
Pay attention to the
Okay.
clues. All right. So I enjoyed having this conversation with you. It was amazing. We are going
Man.
to we're actually all finished. We had talked about a lot today. We had a little bit of everything. It went exactly how I wanted it to go.
Right.
Hit all the topics that I really wanted to. I hope that you were able to say everything that you wanted to say on here. But last and not, especially not least, I want you to give a shout out to yourself, right? And say things that is upcoming events, things to look for. I want you to, you know, talk about your business a little bit, and I'm going to give you a couple minutes to go ahead and do that. You know, put yourself out there and advertise, and then we'll cut the show.
All right. Well, I am Caliburgh Bree. Shout out to me. I am the COO of PGENT LLC. We are a multimedia consortium that specializes in personal development, human values. We dabble in media, merchandise, events. Our next event is 422, the Sail High Party. It is at a private location, smoker friendly. We'll have food, performers, photo stations, all types of stuff come out. But you can check out our website, pgentllc.com, for more information on that. And yeah, we're out here connecting creatives, entrepreneurs, youth. You'll see us around. If you don't know, just follow us, PGentllc.